Hello everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another crafty update video. In this video, I will be starting off with just my cross-stitching things, and then at the end I will talk about knitting, crocheting, books, and possibly games, depending on what I play. So to start off this video though, I will be spinning my WipGo wheel, which I have a bunch of projects that need to be worked on for WipGo. I will spin the wheel and I will pick that project that I will work on for this next week, and I will try and do at least 200 stitches on that project a day, and then the rest of the day I will stitch on a different project, which I will show you after I spin my wheel. So it is wheel spinny time, and hopefully I'm hoping for like cozy winter book nook. It probably won't be. It was so close. We have Dark Cinderella, which I also love. That is from Pain Free Crafts. I think the artist is Barrett Biggers. I will go and I will grab Dark Cinderella so I can show you where she is starting at. Here is Dark Cinderella, and this is being stitched on a 32 count 1/1 half cross, which I love it because it is like not thick at all. Like sometimes when you're stitching 2/1 it gets really thick, but the one strand is very nice because it's not very thick, but it's also kind of hard to see on 32. It's not that bad, but like the light colors were horrible to stitch. Horrible. So I'm glad to be out of that corner. And when I started this, I was stitching it diagonally, and I don't think I'm going to stitch it diagonally anymore because the colors work down. So like this ends up being like a lighter column. The middle portion gets really dark, and so it makes sense more to stitch this one going down so I can park threads like going down than stitching it diagonally, because like once I got to over here, it was like this corner was just going to be dark colors, and then the rest of the diagonal was going to be like these lighter colors. It just wouldn't have made sense for parking and stuff. But there is my starting point on this. I will look real quick and see in Pattern Keeper where I'm at percent wise. So for Dark Cinderella, I am at 2.85%. And I have done 6,383 stitches out of 223,850 stitches. So that is a lot of stitches that I need to do. And I can't believe I'm only at 6,000 stitches. I would kind of like to get that number to 10,000, but I also don't know if I can do that many stitches on this week, but I'll try and see what I can get done. I will do daily stitching, Dark Cinderella, in the morning. And then I will work on Autumn Harmony, artwork by Maxine Gadd, and try and just get more done on her. So here is the full thing, very quick. And I am working currently in the neck chest area, trying to get her skin tone done down there so that I can get all of these colors hopefully finished, like these light fleshy colors finished. So I will keep working in her chest. If I somehow were to get her chest done, I would go and start working on her arm, because her arms need to also be finished with the skin tone, and try and just get these light colors done, and then I'll just have, you know, the bright, fun reds and oranges left to do. So that is Autumn Harmony. She is on 18 count 2/1 full cross. And so now I will get to stitching, and I will be back once I have an update on these charts, which will probably be in about a week, because I like to be able to just show you what I got done in the week. I am back with a quick update because I just saw a video, and so I decided that I am going to be participating in what is called, where is it? Big Brother Stitchy Game, which is from Jessie Marie Does Stuff. So I'm pretty sure it was just today or yesterday, she put up a video where she was explaining the rules for this game that she has created to play while she's watching Big Brother, which I used to watch Big Brother a lot, and I haven't watched in a while. I don't know how many years it's been, but when I heard about the game, I was like, I am in, and so I am going to start playing Big Brother Stitchy Game. And I put all of the stuff in my tablet. I don't know if you'll be able to see very well, but if you watch Jessie Marie Does Stuff's video about it, she explains all of like the rules, which they are very, you can do what you want pretty much. So for example, the way that this works is you are doing things based off of the people. So like if someone is head of household, you will have a project assigned to that person, and then you would do a certain amount of stitches every day for that person or for that project based off of who won head of household, who is nominated, just things like that. And so you can either put a project for all the different people, different projects, or if you are a monogamous stitcher, you can just do a certain amount of stitches. So like if this person is nominated, it'd be like, I'm gonna do this amount of stitches for this person, and you can do it that way. And then also, you can also pick how many stitches you wanna do. So for head of household, you could pick how many stitches you would like to do daily and things like that. But for me, I am just going to right now follow the stitches that Jessie Marie Does Stuff has already put like in like this one spreadsheet. So in the description box of her video, she has spreadsheets. She has a spreadsheet of all the players' names so that you can write in your projects easily and you can print them out. Or like I did, I just put it onto my tablet and so they're all written there. Like, there we go. You can see. And I put a red line for the players who were evicted so far, which it's already week 3 of Big Brother. I am not going to go back and start and do the first 2 weeks. I'm just going to start jumping into week 3 and start from there. So it's currently Monday. The Big Brother like week starts on Sunday with the head of household and the nominations. And so like we already know who the head of household is. I looked it up and I'm gonna watch the episode after I film this, but I looked it up and the head of household is Lauren. The project that I put for Lauren was Cozy Winter Book Nook, so I will be doing daily stitching on Cozy Winter Book Nook, which I'm excited about. And also real quick, I'll explain my projects that I picked. So I put different projects for players, but I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 projects that I just rotated throughout the players. It is Drinks on the Beach, which I want to get stitching done on that because I want to get the page finishes this year. Rose Library, Cozy Winter Book Nook, Fables, and the Haid 2024 Stitch Along. And so I picked just projects that I really like working on, and I picked all projects that are half cross because it is faster to get the stitches done on half cross. And so I would probably be able to get a lot of the stitching done for the people, like whoever's picked, while I'm watching Big Brother because like I said, half cross usually doesn't take that long. So I'm just gonna try this out and just see because like I said, I put like mostly my favorite projects on here. So it's just a way for me to try and get more stitching done on my favorite projects. So Cozy Winter Book Nook was for head of household, so I'll be doing daily stitching on that, 100 stitches, and I might change the numbers later after I see how it goes. And so for right now, I'm just going to keep the stitches for what Jessie Marie Does Stuff had on there, but there's also a template for if you want to pick how many stitches you do for each project. And then for nominated contestants, it's 200 stitches on the project, and the projects that were picked are the people who are nominated. I'm just gonna go projects though. Rose Library is going to be worked on, Drinks on the Beach, and Fables. So I am really excited with the variety of projects that I'll be working on. And so I was just letting everyone know I will be participating in the Big Brother Stitchy games. So when I do my next update video, you'll be seeing some more projects than expected. It is now Saturday, August the 2nd, and I am back with my week-ish of stitching. So I will start by updating you on the projects that I worked on the most, and the first one was my WipGo wheel spin, which was Dark Cinderella, and I was trying to do like 400 stitches a day on days that I stitched, but I think I had 2 days this week where I did not stitch, and so here is my progress on Dark Cinderella, and this one has so much confetti that it takes forever to make progress. So there are a ton of color changes throughout here and in this dark area. And so I was just like starting and ending threads everywhere. That's why you can see all these like ending ones. So like these short ones are threads where I ended it, where I just go farther down, pull it through, and then eventually I'll stitch over it when I am stitching, and so it will get stitched over in the back, and then I can cut it off. But yeah, there is just a ton of threads hanging, and I was trying to focus. I filled in some of the dark area, and then I was also filling in some of this orangey area, like the oranges and browns. And then I did not really work at all down in this blue area because I was working on threads where it would take me, and obviously the oranges were like not really in the blue area, so that area just didn't get worked on. But I am loving the colors in this one so much. Like when I started working on it, I remembered why I picked this chart, because there are other dark fairy tale like princesses on the Pain-Free website. So this is Dark Cinderella. I'm pretty sure there's like a dark Snow White. I know there's a dark Ariel Little Mermaid one, I think, where that one has a lot of like blues and reds. But I remember picking this because I loved like the blue and purpley colors, and when I looked at the floss cards, I was like, these colors are just so fun. I will show the floss cards and you'll see. I was just loving the colors so much when I was looking at the floss cards. It's a lot of like, there are some darker colors, but there's a lot of just like lighter, like purplies and stuff, and the floss cards are kind of a mess. So I'm trying to like make them look a little bit neater. But look at that, some like purples, the green, the purple, the darker purple. I love purples, blues, like it's just like such fun colors. Like they're not super bright, like it's not like Drinks on the Beach where it's like kind of like neon colors, but it's like nice, like softer versions of colors. And yeah, I love these colors so much. And so yeah, I just can't wait to keep stitching on it later once it gets picked again, because the colors are just so fun. I love the colors. And so that was part of why I picked that one, because I really liked all of like the dark like princess charts that were on the Pain-Free Craft website, but the colors were what got me for Dark Cinderella. So I worked on that, and then I worked on Autumn Harmony, and I was trying to also do 400 stitches a day on Autumn Harmony, and I did that I think most days. And so I ended up filling in more of her neck, and look at, that's the bottom of the chart, and there's her neck. So I was just filling in a lot of the lighter colors. I also was doing some of the orangey colors on this side of her neck. And then next week I'll have to start working on the other side of her chest area. But yeah, I'm just so excited that this fleshy area is almost done, and I'm really hoping that in the next week or two, this area will be finished, and then I can work on her arm over here, because this arm is like not done at all. And then I also realized that there is some skin tones right here because it's her ear. So if you see on this side, you can kind of see that her ear is right here, and so this is her other ear. So I will need to do the skin tones there, and then also a little bit more on the other arm is almost finished. So that is my focus, is just finish the fleshy colors. That sounds kind of weird. And that takes me now to Big Brother stitching, which the Stitchy game has been so fun. It has had me working on so many more projects this week, so I will pull up my Big Brother Stitchy game spreadsheet that I'm writing everything down in. So I started stitching, it's week 3 of Big Brother, it just ended, so now we are going to be going into week 4 next week. And the HOH, Head of Household, the project that was picked was Cozy Winter Book Nook, which is artwork by Rose Kahn, charted by Pain-Free Crafts, I'm pretty sure. And for HOH, you're supposed to do 100 stitches a day. I did not meet that goal this week, which I'm fine with, because like I said, I'm just doing the Big Brother thing for fun to add more variety to my stitching. And I ended up getting 500 stitches done on Cozy Winter Book Nook, because like I said, I had 2 no stitch days this week. So here is where Cozy Winter Book Nook is. I'm pretty sure I took a picture of it before I started stitching, so I'll insert that. And I did more of the purple background, and then I was really trying to fill in the clock, because there are still a few stitches in the clock that aren't done. And then I also did some of the colors in this flower thing here. And so Pain-Free Craft pages are smaller than Haid pages, and so this clock right here is like 1 page. So I think this purple line here is a page. Right here is the edge of the page, And so I was kind of trying to fill in this page, and then these flowers are a separate page. And so I've kind of been trying to focus on like filling in this page. But then I also did some stitches here that are going to be a plant. And I did those stitches just because it was a yellowy color that was used in the clock. So the clock, getting close to finished. And I'm really excited because hopefully this project will be picked again in the Big Brother Stitchy games coming up, because like I said, I repeated projects. So this is on there like 3 times. So I'm hoping that it will be worked on again next week. And then the next one I will show is, I'll show one that did not get very many stitches done, which is Fables, which is from Gecko Rouge. It is a kit from them. It's not available anymore though, I don't think, because this is a Medusa Dollmaker chart, so you can find her artwork on her own website now. And this one only got 200 stitches because it was for someone who was nominated for eviction, and I was focusing on filling in, I think it was this side, because I'm working this one in like a 10 stitch high row at a time, and so I was just trying to fill in the end of this row, and then I was going to move down and then start working on the next 10 stitch high row. So there's that. This one didn't get a ton. It got, how many? It was 231 stitches, which is not a lot, but it's better than nothing. And this is 25 count 2/1 half cross. And then next I will show, I'll show Rose Library next because I got like the second amount. And then the third project I'll be showing, I think third, is one that got a ton done on it because it ended up being on there for multiple people for multiple things. So let's see. So Rose Library is artwork by Ivy Dollamore, charted by Unconventional X Stitch, and it ended up getting 204 stitches for a nomination, and then ended up getting 303 stitches for winning the Power of Veto. And I focused on this bottom area here because when I'm only doing like a few hundred stitches, I do try and stick to like one area so you can kind of see what I'm doing more. And so I filled in this book here, and I was working on some of the browns in this book. So that's all that got done. And this is also on 25 count 2/1 half cross. And then a project that got 200 stitches for a nomination, and I did 251. It got 150 stitches for replacement nominee. It got 100 stitches for BB Blockbuster, and then it got 500 for evicted because, like I said, my projects are on there for multiple people, so some of it was the same person, some of it was different people, so it ended up being picked a lot, and so it got the most stitching done this week. And that was Drinks on the Beach, which is good because it's the 2025 stitch along from Heaven and Earth Designs, and my goal is to have the top 6 pages, so this row of 3 and then the bottom row of 3 pages finished by the end of the year, and that way you will get the other charts that were part of the stitch along. And so I was happy that this was picked, and this one I ended up filling in the white of the cloud, or it wasn't white, I think it was like 3865 or something, and then I was doing a lot of like oranges and greens, and then I would fill in some of the oranges over here and just kind of like work the color throughout these pages. The seahorse, I love the way that that little seahorse is looking in the drink. That is very adorable. And this is on 32 count 1/1 10th stitch, and this one is using CXC. My Pain-Free Craft Dark Cinderella is using DMC, and the coverage is not as great. You can kind of see more background in like that dark area. The colors are also kind of like less vibrant, even some of like the darker ones, because you see more fabric through it. Where on this one, I feel like the CXC definitely gives like a little bit more like a fuller coverage, and I'm seeing less background in person. So that is something to note, is that DMC coverage on 32 count is kind of not as good as the CXC on 32 count. So that is everything that I worked on for cross stitching. There's a thread on me. And for knitting, I did not do a ton. So I did end up starting a tank top. I ended up starting the Snakes and Ladder tank, which is by Andrea Chang, and I basically started it, and that is kind of it. I haven't done a ton. So here it is. This is my little start. It's a bottom up tank top, so you start at the bottom. It is a twisted rib, which I did not love. So I've done like a half twisted rib, I think, where you do knit through the back loop but regular purl. And this one you're doing a purl through the back loop. And I did not love purling through the back or whatever. It was different. It was a lot slower. And so that took a little bit to do that. And then you're just supposed to randomly do purls to make like the lines, and it just says to do them like every like 3 to 7 rounds, and then to do them between like a certain amount of stitches. So yeah, I have started it. It's a tiny little start, and this is using cotton from Joann. It was K&C, which is I think their own brand, and it's in the color Full Moon. So there's my little baby start on that, and I'm hoping it won't take that long to make because it is a cropped tank top. And yeah, that's all that I worked on though for knitting or crocheting. For books, I didn't even finish a book this week, I don't think. I'm currently reading Mistborn, and it's taking a long time. It's a bigger book, and also I feel like I can't read it for as long as I can like easier books, because I feel like fantasy world sometimes can be a lot. And so I haven't finished it yet, and luckily though, when I put a hold on it, I put a hold on the ebook and the physical book at the library. The ebook is actually due today, so that will just be automatically returned, you know? But then I got a thing from the library saying that the physical book was in for me, and so I'm glad I didn't cancel that hold, so I can go pick up the physical book, and then I can get myself to the same place that I was in the ebook, and then I can just keep on reading Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. For games, I only played Fantasy Life once again, because just a lot of my time this week was spent on Big Brother, because I was trying to get caught up on the previous weeks. And so I'm not going to do Stitchy games for the first 2 weeks of Big Brother, but I did want to watch the first 2 weeks just to know the backstory between all the people, you know? And I'm gonna say this, that so far, I don't even really know who I want to win. I like Ava. I like Kelly-ish. My biggest issue with a lot of the people is that I feel like no one is making any big, like, good alliances that I'm seeing. Like, I'm seeing so many people who are like, I'm final 2 with this person, and then I'm final 2 with this person, and I'm like, who are you final 2 with? I'm not seeing, and I don't watch like the 24/7 cameras or anything like that. I'm not subscribed to whatever it is that you have to watch that. I also don't have the time to watch it, so I don't know if there's stuff going on in the house that I'm just not seeing that isn't on like the regular episodes. But yeah, so far I'm not seeing like good, strong alliances coming out, and that's what's bugging me, is the way people are playing the game this season is so, like, they're all sissies. Like, the one girl was gonna nominate people, and she was like, I'm just gonna nominate the people who are already nominated, and it's like, pick who you want out. Who do you want out? I don't know. So that is my issue so far with the game, is just like, play it. And also, like, one guy got really mad at this other guy because he was like, you were talking behind my back, and it's like, that's Big Brother. You're gonna talk behind people's back. You talk behind people's back. What are you doing? I'm gonna start ranting about Big Brother if I don't stop. But anyways, that is all for this week's video. I will be back next week with another WipGo wheel spin to pick a project that I work on daily, and I will be doing more Big Brother stitching, which I actually had a whip that was not worked on that is on my list. 1 or 2, hold on, let me see. Yeah, I did not work on the Hey 2024 stitch along, which I have on there for a few people. So I am hoping that next week that will be picked, because I would really like to work on that stitch along as well as all my other things. So yeah, we'll be back next week and we will see what I end up working on. Thank you everyone for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!